Welcome back. Nick and Lex here. As you can see, Nick is not here. I am going to be doing this one alone because this is a Dan request for Paul. And, you know, since we've gotten back from our trip, days just keep kind of moving on. And now Nick is getting sick again. So just kind of decided, you know what, I am the big Counting Crows fan. Nick enjoys them as well, but I just figured that way we can kind of keep the ball rolling, because typically if one of us doesn't feel well or one of us is sick or, you know, sometimes we're both busy or I'm busy or he's kind of got stuff going on. So I just said, you know what, let me try this. And Nick was all for it. So here I am. I've done videos on my own before. If you're new to the channel, you'll mostly find videos of both of us. But I've done, I believe, 2 on my own. And yeah, it's not my like comfort zone, but here I am. Thank you so much, Paul, for another Counting Crows track as your Dan selection. As a Dan member on Patreon, you get not only access to all of the full albums that we've done, which is almost 70 at this point, which is insane. Also all the blocked content. You get to suggest a full album for the poll, vote on the poll. And you also get a guaranteed song request every month. So Paul has suggested a few Counting Crows tracks in the past, actually from this album, which is August and Everything After from '93. We've done Anna Begins and Sullivan Street. And I know from just my personal knowledge of Counting Crows, which is very limited, I've heard Round Here and Mr. Jones. I'm a huge fan. Anytime Counting Crows comes on, I have to listen to them. And it actually happened to me the other day with Round Here. So my playlist on Spotify, like that it personalizes for me, is called Chill Mix. That's kind of where I go. And it has a lot of stuff that I like, a lot of Dave Matthews and stuff. And I was about to get to my destination and Round Here came on and I was like, oh man, you know, I couldn't stop it. I couldn't so anyway, I got to my destination and I stopped the song. I got back in the car and I was halfway through. And then I was like, I'm going to start this over again. This deserves a re-listen from the beginning. That's how much I like them. So I'm very excited. I've never heard this song. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your patience as, you know, life moves on outside the channel and things come up. You guys are always there and always so supportive. So please continue showing your support if you would. It's free to give a like, to comment, to subscribe. If you do want to give us a little more, check us out on Patreon. And we've got a lot of fun stuff over there. So let's get started. Perfect Blue Buildings.
Down the street from your hotel, baby, I stay at home with my disease.
Oh, that bass.
Best position, familiar, darling. Well, all monkeys do what they see. Help me stay awake, I'm falling down Virginia and Aloma, where I got friends who care for me. You got an attitude of everything I ever wanted. I got an attitude of need. So help me stay awake, I'm falling.
Wow.
4:30 a.m. on a Tuesday. It doesn't get much worse than this. In beds, in little rooms, in buildings, in the middle of these lives which are completely meaningless. Help me stay awake and falling. Sleep in perfect blue buildings beside the green apple sea. I wanna get me a little oblivion, baby. I'm trying to keep myself away from myself and me. Well, I got bones beneath my skin, and mister, there's a skeleton in every man's house. Beneath the dust and love and sweat that hang on everybody is the dead man trying to get out. So please help me stay awake. I'm falling. Sleep in perfect blue buildings beside the green apple seeds. I wanna get me a little oblivion, baby. Try to keep myself away from me. Perfect blue buildings beside the green apple seeds. I wanna get me a little oblivion, baby. I'm trying to keep myself away from myself and me. Oh, little perfect blue building. I can't keep myself away from me. Oh, little perfect blue building. So how am I gonna keep myself away? How am I gonna keep myself away from me? Keep myself away. How am I gonna keep myself away from me? Keep myself away. How am I gonna keep myself away from me?
I almost forgot I had to stop the song because normally Nick does that. Wow. Okay. So obviously with music like this, it's a little bit easier to focus on the lyrics, and musically everything that was happening, I was immediately drawn to like how crisp and kind of simple the drums sounded. Not simple in a way that it's easy, but simple just in the kind of production of it. It was just very clear to me that the drums were just kind of very crisp and clear. The bass was awesome. The guitar and the different sounds were great. But obviously what gets me is Adam's voice. It's just so unique. You always know you're listening to Counting Crows. And this, I said the album was released in 1993. So I was 2 years old when it was released. Music isn't always popular just in the time when it came out. It usually, if they're good, transcends time into decades, So I do remember, I would say about 10 years after this, or even a little bit before, hearing his song on the radio constantly, because they had a lot of very popular songs in the 90s and early 2000s. I remember listening to Accidentally in Love. It was always on the radio. And let me see when that song is from. 2004. Okay. Yeah, Shrek 2. Exactly. So just this voice and the sound of Counting Crows, I've said in the past, is just very reminiscent of my childhood, of my early life, of growing up, of being with my dad. He raised me mostly as a single dad, and just it brings back a lot of those memories. So for me, it's very about that. And as I was saying, with music like this, it's not your typical prog where you kind of find yourself needing to dissect every instrument and what everything is doing. This is more about like, okay, what is the message that this song is trying to portray? So very early on, I heard just little pieces of the lyrics, and I kind of wanted to dive in, and I need your guys' input here because I looked up Perfect Blue Building lyrics meaning to see what other people were getting from it, because I had a little bit of an idea. And for me, maybe it's my time working in criminal justice, but I immediately thought about like addiction and struggles with drugs. When I look it up, there are different perspectives, and all are written kind of very matter-of-factly in the different kind of blogs that talk about the song meanings. One says it's about being on the road. The perfect blue buildings are hotels, and the beds in little rooms are, just kind of meaningless rooms that you stay in while you're on the road. It's cold. It's an environment that is not home, right? So kind of sleeping in this sterile, impersonal, and surreal environment while being on the road. Okay, that's one take. Another one is about heroin addiction, a person who's jonesing for it, trying to fight the urge to try to keep myself from me. And then, that's kind of where I took it to. I was also thinking along the lines of depression. So I don't know. I really want your guys' input, and really we'll never really know. Although this one said the lead singer Adam has stated that the song is about depression and coping with a very mundane and pointless existence. The perfect blue buildings are in reference to the cookie cutter look of American suburbs. He's broken up with his girlfriend. He's depressed. Being in an unfulfilling job to support a bland, uninspired life. He's an insomniac because of the depression. So I don't know. I feel like everybody can have their own meaning to it, but I think that my mind kind of just went to drugs and depression also because, like I said, my time in criminal justice just has that deep in me where I can kind of hear things that I heard from a lot of people that I spoke to who were in that environment. Sadly, it's a lot of times kind of like a vortex that sucks you in, and it all kind of goes hand in hand between having a record and having an addiction and not being able to hold a job and not really having a stable family life, and all this stuff kind of go together. So all of those things, sorry. So yeah, that's kind of where I was in the song. I was kind of just trying to figure out and enjoying the way that he was wording everything. It was just very descriptive, but not so obvious, which I like. It leaves the song open for interpretation, but Counting Crows always delivers. I really, really enjoyed this song. Again, I love his voice. I just love the whole band itself is just very 90s kind of like angry, sad. I don't want to say grunge, even though that was also happening at the time, but more like alternative, but also friendly for a lot of folks to be able to listen to. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are. What do you think of the band? What do you think of the song? Again, from this record, I'm obsessed with several songs. Round Here, Mr. Jones, Sullivan Street is one that, again, Paul showed us, and I just really, really love that song now. So I'm very grateful to Paul and to all of you for watching and supporting the journey of just discovering music and listening to music together. I don't really mind doing songs that I've already heard before, because sometimes that even gives you more to talk about and more to share, like memories and experiences. So anything that you want to write in the comments, anything that I brought up about, struggles with addiction of any kind or anything like that. I feel like whether it's of you or of a loved one, it's always good to open up and share. Nowadays, I feel like we're very much inside of ourselves and inside of just kind of like less social beings now with the technological area. So this is socializing, listening to me, watching Nick and I, watching Nick's marathons and hearing all of his stories and his struggles and just things where we kind of open up to you and you do the same. So thank you guys so much for being there for us. Thank you for all of your love and support. If you're still watching this until the very end, somehow I made a 5-minute song a 16-minute video, but I appreciate you all. We love sharing with you. Please support us just by liking, subscribing, sharing the video with a friend. We hope to see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.